team in danger of going 0-3 tomorrow, and another right now. It is the grand finale of our match. It is David versus Goliath. 2-0, DeChalk versus 0-2, Josh Duhamel in Group C.
0-2. They got to get the win here. DeChalk, Captain Liz, Big Ev. They've been called the best team. Bunch of people saying it earlier. Even Rhea was referencing a Liz move, telling Dave how to navigate the tower. Dave asked, is she good? Rhea said, easily one of the best. And here we go. Can they move to 3-0, the first 3-0 team? If they move to 3-0, they are essentially on their way to the end. You can't see anything falling apart for them at this point. So a very pivotal match here for both teams for two incredibly different reasons. Big Ev and Liz can afford a loss today. Josh Duhamel cannot.
All right, Jeff, we have some breaking news. Literally breaking news right now. We have our first cut in the Jenga League. Kate is done. She is out of the league.
Wow.
Welcome, K-Pat, to Team Josh Duhamel with Captain Cons. He's a brand new competitor. Kate is out of the league.
Unbelievable. That's shocking news. But Cons on a knee. I don't know if it's like in memoriam of Kate, but Kate, yeah, she's fine, by the way. She's still here. Yeah, Kate cut from the league, and Pat has stepped in. So the first new player we've seen, which is interesting because Josh Duhamel was very pleased with the performance this morning, but I think maybe with the media, and we'll show it now, we were actually with Josh Duhamel breaking down game film of what happened in their last match. Obviously, Kate has been involved with two very tough towers, put Cons in a tough spot. And, of course, in the first match, she showboated against PFT and Kelly Martin, turned around and the tower fell. We talked to Josh this morning, and he watched the game film, and he seemed to be pleased. But, again, we are the media, Jake.
Yes.
And the media, you don't always get the full picture if you're the media because they're not always going to tell them everything they see. There is Josh breaking it down. He seemed decently happy. He liked what Cons was doing, but I think during our games film session, he seemed to appreciate Cons the most. So maybe he was like, I'm done with Kate. Maybe he didn't want Kate on the team anymore. He is the owner. He does own the team. But at the end here, he actually gave, you'll see this.
Captain Cons and Kate. Hey, good luck today, Captain Cons and Kate.
He gave Captain Cons and Kate a good luck.
Wow.
But maybe he had a change of heart at the last second there because now he's got Pat, he's got Cons, the most active owner we have, Josh Duhamel, making the big move, making the change. The Transformers and Las Vegas star himself also loves Simon's got a new movie coming out soon. He makes the move, new team on the floor, 0-2 trying to save the season.
How about that? Our
Unreal.
First celebrity appearance in Stool Streams. Wish him good luck. Could that be the turn? They need everything they can get today facing the 2-0 DeChalk.
Personal message from Josh Duhamel, the real team owner.
Wow. Well, they are 0-2 in Group C, and they need a win in the worst way. And as we await for Liz to start this one off, Liz and Big Ev, how are they so good? Is it luck? Is it experience? What is it?
It's definitely a bit of experience. Definitely a bit of experience, but Liz was good off the get-go, too. So some people just have that, I don't know, they have that ability. She's a prodigy. She's a fucking Jenga prodigy, I guess. Yeah. It's a crazy thing to be a prodigy in.
Right.
But, yeah, it's pretty clear they're one of the best teams here. Spider making his way down to the floor. A lot of delays here in this third match after a couple crazy first two matches. This is some pretty wild stuff we're seeing here today. Breaking news, shaking up the airwaves, shaking up the waiver wire. I know the NBA is dishing out a lot of trades right now, but what we've seen here today is it's fascinating stuff for the team owner to step in like that and make the call. Make the move. We knew Pat was a possibility, but maybe like Cons getting cut was the possibility. But no, is Cons a de facto captain now?
I don't know, but
I'll text Duhamel. I'll text him.
Jeff, if we twirl back a few weeks to the draft,
I texted Josh Duhamel just now.
Pat was one of the snubs who was not happy that he was not picked. But here we go. He has a chance here to prove himself.
Yeah, Pat didn't play much either, so I think that might have been one of the reasons why he wasn't picked. But I think he's in maybe the best spot. Now, you don't really want to get picked up by an 0-2 team, but you're on – before he had no shot at $10,000, and now he has a shot. And that's better than not having any ability to potentially pick up a nice little payday here. As we see the JBR of Big Ev, 47.2, one of the better ones in the league. Big Ev had to kind of move to the center block a little bit. We know Big Ev. I talked to him a little bit outside of the game. This is a direct source from Ev. He prefers the outside block. He plays it safe. That's what Liz knows how to do. We saw last match, too. Liz kind of saved the match. Told Ev, hey, pull this block. This sets up the other side for a losing effort. And that is why Cons and Kate are 0-2. Liz, very high JBR, one of the highest in the league. She's also an outside block, though, mixed in the center block as well. two stout competitors. Nothing flashy. They're not going to do anything that blows people away. By the way, PFT highest JBR in the league at over 100. But they will win, and that's all that matters when you're going for that 10 grand.
All right, let's send it down the stream, Spider, with our competitors to kick off our grand finale.
Thanks a lot, Jake. I'm down here on the sidelines. Couple rules before we get started. Please remain inside these light green, yellow taped lines you see on the floor. To chalk, you will be on this side. For extracting a block, only use one hand at a time. Should you use two, your teammate will be penalized and forced to extract the first block they touch on their next turn. Now, new rule today. Should the time expire and you go past the 60 seconds to pick a block, and you're forced to touch that, remove that block, you will have one chance per game to switch your block. Okay? One chance per game per team to switch the block.
Right.
Do you understand the rules? Do you understand the rules?
Yes, sir.
Back to Jake and Jeff in the booth. Good luck to all the contestants.
All right, thanks so much, Spider. Let's kick things off, Jeff. It is time for our grand finale of Stool Streams 24. The order will be Cons, Liz, Pat, a.k.a. Kate, and Big Ev. So let's start things off with Captain Cons. It is do or die time for Team Josh Duhamel.
It is do or die time, and he is into the square.
Cons with an individual record of 2-2, but all that matters is the league play right now and the quest for 10K. Remember, the winner of this league in January will get $10,000.
Aggressive opening block by Cons right there. Just
Great
dove
job,
right in.
Thank you.
Be interesting to see how Liz and Big Ev respond to this last-minute change, a little gamesmanship, going up against a competitor they had not watched film on. But if I know one thing about Liz, I don't think it's going to get in her head at all. She is just cool as cucumber, calm and collected down there in the gym field. Nice and easy first round for her. I don't think that she'll have a problem adjusting this.
And of course, PFT, I have to note, in the fairness of the broadcast, you are in this group.
The group of death.
You are 1-0 in this group. The other 0-1 team is the Rangoon Wranglers, where you have Josh Duhamel at 0-2 and the Chalk at 2-0. So, you know, we know you're a little biased in the booth, but you're trying your best here.
It's a group of death, Jeff. I'm gonna try to keep it and call it square. But again, I think that both teams are pretty solid here. We have defeated Team Josh Duhamel, but granted, that was Josh Duhamel 1.0.
You poopy head.
So one way down the cycle right now.
Cons dropping a poopy head. Might be getting a yellow card issued for that language later.
2-0 versus 0-2. And Jeff, we've said it before, but this is going to go a long way in determining the outlook of Group C.
You just have to think, if they go 3-0, does Big Ev and Liz, that should all but seal their fate. We're going to start having some probably group scenarios starting on
What?
on-
You deep?
Can you do that?
tomorrow. I keep forgetting.
Yes, we got 3 this week.
Yeah, 3
You can
tomorrow.
use your
Oh,
fingers to touch
if
down.
you're not amped for the Frank the Tank Big Cat
Yes.
matchup now,
After what you saw today, wow.
All
unbelievable.
right, all right.
Remember to make your picks. Special start time, noon Eastern. Noon Eastern, Stool Streams 25. Big Cat and Roan
me.
versus Frank
My
the Tank
apologies for that burp.
and Nick. A potential elimination game in all likelihood for Pubes too.
Big noon Stool Streams. I like it. I'm actually very much looking forward to the potential matchup between Frank the Tank and Dave. I think that might actually come to blows if they ever meet each other.
Well, they are in different groups, but could set up something in the playoffs if Pubes 2 goes on a little bit of a run. Speaking of playoffs, a win by the Chalk in this match right here would put them in a fascinating spot.
Well, we've only won one game because
Jeff,
we
how
only
about your
played
We
keys
should
to the
slow
match
this.
presented
We're playing
by
to their
Heineken
pace right
Seltzer?
now. We should slow this.
Pat already talking right now. Pat hasn't played often.
He's played once.
Kind of telling Cons what to do here. Keep it for the Chalk. Keep it the Chalk. No issues, no upsets. Just got to win. And then reminder with Josh Duhamel, you can stream Transformers, a 2007 movie starring Josh Duhamel, Shia LaBeouf, and the car Bumblebee on demand now.
And beautiful Megan Fox.
Directed by Michael Bay.
Sorry to get horny on the mic.
Now back to Liz. We mentioned during the last match that Liz has the best individual record in the entire office. 7-3 right now. However, she did warn me earlier this morning she is not herself today. She said she's super off because she slept 12 hours last night. 12.
Holy fucking shit.
Liz.
That's a lot of hours.
I never heard back for a pregame
That's
interview, and she
stunning.
texted me saying, "Sorry, I
I
fell
am
asleep."
12
supremely
hours.
jealous.
Somebody breathing heavy.
Jenny Glenny's friend Jenny. Glenny, of course, said that he got poor sleep the other night of 7 hours. I know PFT felt bad for Glenny after the 7 hours of sleep. I don't know how he slept.
That's tough. Glenny's a warrior. You know, it's tough to fall asleep and get a solid 8 in after you're visited by an apparition or a ghost. So, I mean, 7.5 hours will just have to do. But he came in, he competed.
Nice job.
I think that's
You're
good,
good.
right?
Yep, that's good.
So now over to Big Ev with block 11. Mentioning a potential 3-0 record, Big Ev said he's not looking too much into that. He's not worried about who he's playing. He's just worried about Liz and himself playing their best, and they believe they will be just fine.
All right.
Big Ev, one of the best Jenga players in the office. He just gets a laser focus on his eyes when he's dialed in on the block.
An audible
Shuts
drop from
everything
Big Ev.
else out. Just blocks out the outside world.
An AD. He's already dropping ADs halfway through the game.
It's my move.
Now Khan's at the top of the order
Ooh.
with block 12. He flat out said his season is on the line because if you look at the state of Group C, you can't afford to lose another one. He called this one a make or break match.
Curious how much Pat tries to take over here. Does he trust Cons? They are 0-2.
Who lost the first 2 games for you? It was a group loss, obviously, but who pulled the last block?
One each.
Okay.
I pulled one, she pulled one.
Khan's very humble. He was put in a scenario, an impossible scenario where he had to do a tablecloth move.
It's all right. We're only focused on what's going on right now, right here.
One move at a time. They're not eliminated whatsoever, Jake.
Great job,
You
Liz.
figure 4 and 2 is the magic number. Maybe a group with Carnage could get a 3 and 3 team in.
Some good sportsmanship going here. Just
Yeah,
complimenting each
possible.
other.
I like
Possible.
that pull.
Again, I'm determined. I'm determined. I'll have the scenarios in hand tomorrow. Okay.
Appreciate it.
There
We're
she
We're gonna have
is.
the generator in hand.
Oh, boy.
I'm embarrassed I don't have them right now, Jake.
It's all good.
I'll have all group scenarios starting tomorrow.
Nice and easy.
So here's Pat, the last-minute substitution and new member
Nice
of
and
Team
easy.
Josh Duhamel. He does have 1 appearance in his career. He lost, but he
Those
did
are
not pull a
smokes,
losing
though.
block. Now Big Ev with block 15.
Vodka's touching every block there is.
Big Ev almost had his record broken earlier. Dave went 13 and a half minutes on a move.
13:22. Big Ev went 15 2 weeks ago.
A rare Tittleman's crest for Big Ev.
Yes.
Not often.
It's very rare that Big Ev gets a
He's an
Tittleman's
outside.
crest.
He's an outside
It's
blocker.
very rare.
He's an outside block fiend.
Take your time.
And now Khan's going with the Tittleman's crest
Easy. There it is.
down the middle.
Nice TC from
Three
Cons.
towers on the right. And it is good.
Liz isn't even paying attention.
These
She's
two
walking
teams
in
are
there.
moving.
Interesting strategy here by Pat to talk smack to the best player with the best record when he has literally been in this league for 5 minutes.
He's trying to shake things up. Pat's trying to shake things up, turn the tide for his team.
No one
He
talks shit to
sniffs the
Liz.
money, but he knows he doesn't have much time for it.
No one talks shit to Liz. She's very shakeable.
She's the Black
Mentally.
Widow. Black Widow of Jenga is what they call her.
I do. We keep referencing the Big Ev long turn. I want to reference something that happened in that turn too for those watching who still might be a little confused about the
And
previous
now
you can
things
match.
get
watch back
interesting.
on it.
Yeah, which
Go
you
on
can watch
YouTube.
back on YouTube. Ev, at one point, the move was going to be moving one of the towered blocks instead of placing it in the middle. Really no different than what we saw Rudy doing, except Rudy did it in the beginning of the turn, completely allowed. I know a lot of people are questioning that, but that's a good example of where that has happened. That
Hurry
scenario has
up,
been
Pat.
in play in the past. Just wanted to throw that out there since we're referencing that Big Ev move.
Clear things up. Here's Pat. 8 rows deep going
Good
with
pull.
the east side.
Queen.
Pat focused. That right hand, though, sticking out a little bit. He's got to be careful.
Keeping an eye on it.
A little wave from
Good
Pat.
wave. Good wave.
Big Ev going for a middle block, obviously, like a coward. The safe Safe
19
Big Ev
blocks
move.
deep for Big Ev.
He's found
All right.
nice.
Yep.
Towers on the east
Very
side. And
wobbly for it being so early on.
Jeff, we've seen a theme from the Chalk in all 3 of their matches. Very quiet while they're playing.
Yep, though Liz just noted something.
Take
She
your
said
time.
very,
There's a couple things
very
up top.
wild for early on, but it really isn't. We're in that 18 to 28 range, Jake, that I bring up every single match.
Right above
This
that,
is when the
facing you.
tower is going to be most wobbly
One you
up
just
until
poked
the
in
end.
middle?
Once we
Here.
pass 28, it typically stays kind of still for a bit.
Right, literally the
and
one
then
you
as we
just
near
poked, the one
40, it
directly
begins
above
to
it.
wobble once
That
again.
one?
Yeah, I
Can't
think-
go for that one.
Can't. That's a
Little
rookie move. I don't
coaching
know.
by Pat, but coaching an illegal move. That would have been. Masters green.
Yeah, Khan's usually used to evaluating blocks of wood that have meat and cheeses and various fig spreads on them. So these are relatively nude for his taste.
Jeff, as a
Push it back in.
hands-on lifer, I have to admit, am I going crazy? Are the shades of green different on Cons and Pat's shirts?
Yeah, it would seem as though
What about
Pat
this one?
has a bit of a
I got it.
You got it.
like
You're
a
good.
practice jersey on. It's like a practice squad jersey.
I feel like Khan's has found himself in a situation where he regrets taking this block. He wishes that he had gone for a little bit easier of a pull, but he's committed to it. Made that a little hard on himself, but he got it done.
Firm clap from Pat there.
20 blocks in, and
Trying to
Cons
inject
makes
some
another
life.
full slate.
He's trying to inject some life. You're not going to rattle Liz and Ev at all. They don't give a shit.
Ah, I don't give a shit.
That was the weirdest thing I've heard yet in here. We just spent an hour Frank the Tank.
Excuse me.
Liz, you won't pull it with your eyes closed. Do you like Jordan at the free throw line? Shut your eyes and pull it.
See how good you really are.
See how good you are. Oh, yeah, of course she finds that.
She's locked in.
Pat has no idea what he's messing with right now. It's quite
I
fascinating.
think Liz gets way more credit than she.
This is like an alien coming down to Earth and like talking shit to Michael Jordan or LeBron.
Yeah.
And being like, are these
Happened in
guys any
Space
good?
Jam, didn't work.
did not.
True.
I don't think
Did not
Pat
work.
has liked or subscribed to any of our
on,
broadcasts
Pat.
on YouTube, because if he did, he would know not to mess with Liz.
Very true.
You don't tug on Superman's cape, you don't spit it in the wind, and you don't fuck around with Liz Gonzalez when
Tillman's
she's
crest.
pulling a Jenga block.
Don't fuck around with Tittleman's crest. Wow.
Tittleman's crest.
Stuck in between a rock and a hard place here, PF.
Once called Gallman's Center, actually.
I mean, what the fuck is
What about the very bottom row?
What are you talking about?
The very
Here?
bottom row. No, the very bottom. The one touching
Not
the
having a hard time
platform.
identifying
This
the
is
bottom
tough.
row.
Yeah, this is a
60
this is a
seconds,
lack
pick
of
a block.
chemistry. We
Come
talked.
on,
I just actually got a
Spider. You
text
didn't
back
count
from
anyone
Josh
down except for
Duhamel.
me.
Josh Duhamel
Shut
said he
up and
was
go
worried a
faster.
little bit about the team chemistry, and right on cue, we're seeing it a bit here.
45 seconds.
I don't think
now.
Pat still is
Don't worry
aware
about it,
of what the
45
bottom of
seconds.
the tower is at this point.
I mean, I can't go here, right?
Yes, you can.
I can?
That's a good row.
Oh, fuck.
30 seconds.
This is
You
where
got that. That
experience
one's coming
comes
out.
in handy.
You got it. Attaboy. Yeah, attaboy. Careful, it's going to recoil a little bit, but you got it.
Pat twisting that right block.
Twisting and turning.
Constance's going to make an excellent dad one day. Sound like a great little league coach over here.
Good job, Patrick.
Thank you, Connor.
Very well.
Thanks, Dad.
Got it out on the
Ooh,
west side.
point
and
and
now
the walk away from
back
Pat.
to Big Ev at block 23.
More taunting. They're all business on the chalk over here.
The
Really,
Chalk
they're playing against themselves at this point.
looking to become the first 3-0 team in the league.
Be a real shame if they lost. No one's
60
rooting for that.
seconds, pick a block.
I wonder what PFT is rooting for, Jake.
He's
because, again,
definitely
PFT is in
rooting
this group.
for Josh Duhamel because he doesn't want a 3-0 team in his group.
I don't know. If I'm PFT, I want a team eliminated.
I want to beat the best team in the league at their best.
Honestly, if I was up for the $10,000 reminder, Jake, you and I decided to not play for the $10,000. We were men of integrity, unlike PFT, left the booth, decided to do both
Anything
jobs.
below the twist right there.
I would personally not care how I win the money. All hypothetical, of course,
That's
though.
tough.
It's crazy. It's literally at the top. It's like. Come on.
Uh-oh, Khan's mad at Spider.
Jeff, how about this?
Not the guy to get
Get
mad.
your
Our
water
grand
bottle
finale
off my
tomorrow,
chair.
PFT will
That's
get
a
a
beautiful
chance to
talk.
back up his talk. It is the Chalk versus the football team in our third and final match tomorrow starting at noon.
All I'm saying is it would be a real shame if somebody were to pull a Nancy Kerrigan on Liz's knee when she walked out of Stool Stadium. A real shame.
Yeah.
Now it's Liz at block 25. Liz did say she is very, very, very comfortable with her selection of Big Ev in the draft, and she said it might be the best decision of her life to take Big Ev in this draft.
Life.
Oh,
Yes.
whoa.
They have been very good together, I guess. There's really no
Come
reason
on,
to question.
Elizabeth.
Whoa! Tower is in a weird spot. Jake Meisner.
Yeah, but Liz staying locked in. Yeah, the bottom row still
Oh,
intact.
no, the recoil.
Few full slates still in
60
play as well.
seconds to pick a block.
Keep going.
Liz steps back. Now, will she change here?
Can we get a countdown, Spider?
45 seconds now to
Thank you.
pick a block.
Liz going on the west side.
West side is the best side.
And it's out.
I wonder if she saw that
Yeah.
block, Jake.
You look at row 5 right now, the western block. You can see it hanging on the Skycam shot presented by High Noon Hard Seltzer.
She
It's about
had-
halfway out, and it stayed put.
She had no idea. She almost knocked that block out. We almost had a one-block Jenga. Ev didn't see it either because he's on the other side. That was almost insane.
Just trusting your teammate.
Wow. And will Pat
No
go for
issues.
that? He's not even
It's
looking
staring
at
at him in the face.
Is it a bait block?
Remember, you can use your other fingers to push.
Is
through
it a bait
if
block?
You need to. Nope, that's
No,
not
it is not.
nicely.
Not a bait block. That
All
block
right,
was
just
ready
take
to
your
be
time
pulled.
with the re-rack there.
That thing was ripe.
The
Poor
re-tower.
re-rack, poor retower by Khan's has put Pat in a situation where he has to place it in the middle. He's a rookie. He blows a kiss.
I think that might need to.
Dropped it well.
What he just said.
Yeah.
Hey, out of way.
Khan's getting a little cocky.
All right, Jeff, let's break down Group C right now.
Yep, 2-0 start for the Chalk, as we mentioned.
Try like a
And
bottom
0-2 for Josh Small. Right in the middle. The 1-0,
The
0-1.
middle.
Rangoon Wranglers, #1 pick overall, Donnie. Selected by Donnie.
They'll be in action tomorrow
And
as
then, of
well.
course, tomorrow, PFT, the football team, with Kelly Martin. Excited to see them again. PFT, the captain, but is he really the captain when it comes to being teammates
We're
with Kelly Martin?
co-captains.
Yeah, we have
We
You
have
got
an
Alfred into
arrangement.
being a co-captain.
The
We're
entirety,
like Kyrie Irving and KD on the same team.
entirety
One of
of
us might be
Group
coaches
C.
any other day.
in action, and then our kickoff match will be Big Cat versus Frank the Tank. That's tomorrow starting at noon. Make your picks now. In the Play Barstool app, we only have one player alive in this broadcast if nobody wins today. 1,500 on the line tomorrow.
Oh, it's not coming.
Slow and steady.
I'm hoping for a kink in that wood.
Beautiful pool.
Clean pull.
I see a couple.
Big Ev just feeling himself right now.
Take your time. That's all you gotta do.
Good job.
Ev is smart. That's a smart play by Ev. Good retower, thinking two turns ahead.
Back to the top of the order to Captain Cons.
Oh, there you go.
Less and less chirping from Pat right now.
Once you get past the
You got a shaky
25 range, things start to settle in and becomes less of a breeze for
Oh,
both
that's,
teams.
That's easy pull.
Yeah, the jokes do go away.
Got a shaky tower though at the top, guys.
60 seconds to pick a block.
Yeah, that's an easy pull. You got that. Beautiful.
It's out the western block.
What?
Your hands are outrageously shaky.
I know. Well, that's just me.
They're doing this. But that's a great pull.
Cons got it to go.
Fantastic pull,
So
actually.
now over to Liz, block 29. We mentioned a 7-3 record for Liz. She has 1 losing block.
I don't even remember it.
Right.
Granted, they all kind of blend together at this point, but it's hard to remember a time when that happened. Probably with Tommy.
You'll have to go back to August 19th with her partner, Tommy
Yeah, so to
Smokes.
say, it's the curse of Tommy Smokes. Does that even count?
It was
Tommy
against
Smokes
Big Cat and
1-2
PFT.
down, right?
August
As long as
19th,
it's
our
tied
second
1-1.
week ever of Stool
Fourth row
streams.
down. Got it.
Tell me Tommy's going to have a furious comeback in Jenga. I don't know what it is.
Well, Goose Mode's on a very long break right now, so some time to watch the film back for
One that I
Mr.
like.
Smokes.
Go
If you
south
see
for the
something,
winter.
just go for it.
So just go for it.
Interesting coaching by Khan saying if you see something, just go for it.
30 deep in our finale.
What do these usually go to? How many pulls?
Let's not worry about that. Let's just
Pat
focus
revealing
on
he's
the
not a
next
Jenga fan, doesn't know much about the sport. For a man that wanted $10,000, you'd think he would have done his homework.
My time is taken up with Torque Tuesday.
It is Monday, not Tuesday, so it's another lie there.
spot. That's it.
Oh no.
Has a block picked out.
Cons thought that was it, thought the game was over.
Row 5.
It's a good one. Just take your time.
Oh,
Twisting.
Could Pat do it here?
Pat, be careful.
Uh-oh, and now he's
Remember-
leaning the tower more.
Could the lack of experience backfire? Only
This is-
one match for Pat in his
Put it up
career.
there quickly when you get it.
And it's been almost 3 months.
Don't put it up there. Put it up there. Now get away. Get away.
I think he made that pull a lot harder than it needed to be, but it doesn't matter. They're cleaning through to Big Ev's turn.
Back to Big Ev. Block 31.
Vodka likes a low pull.
Yep.
It's wobbly up there.
Vodka
Maybe
loves a
you
low
do the
pull.
same thing you did with the bottom with that Tillman's crest on.
Right here?
Yeah.
It's moving hard this way. It's like fucking Tower Peter.
Big Ev noting that the
Yeah.
tower is tilting, and actually the way I'm shifting
Careful,
my
don't
body
lose
out of the
everything.
booth right now to get a better look at it. It is leaning, so he's going to have to think about the recoil. He's going to have to think about the retower.
60 seconds.
What's the
What
best
is the
spot
block?
to make sure the tower moves opposite of the way it's leaning, and then he has to quickly retower it to balance it out.
Yeah, see if you can get that edge.
Excuse me.
Big Ev really
Only
not afraid to take his
21%.
time on these pulls.
Took Big Ev to
15
end this
minutes, up
match.
to 15 minutes before. He could do it fast or he could do it right.
Nice and easy, you got it.
Going fast. You want to pull this fast. Fast and hard.
That is just not going to work from that.
Remember, Big Ev, no stranger to long turns, but it has worked for him in the past.
Slow it down. Keep your finger on the little bug when you go to pull it. Balance.
Big Ev still locked in, block 31.
You have to do what he did. Put your finger on one and kind of pry it out. Maybe one of those three on the bottom.
Big Ev has very soft feet when he's moving around the tower.
Speak
You're
up.
really going to hear him as he steps.
Could go fourth row. I don't know if there's enough weight to hold it down. though.
It's out for Big Ev. And Jeff,
Those are
before
gonna-
we
Hold on, hold
begin
on.
this move, we have been buzzed from the booth. A potential violation by Cons a couple of turns ago. No call on the floor. Has to be indisputable evidence to confirm. So let's
Yeah,
take
this
a
is
look
tough.
here.
This is tough. Looking at it now, Spider will make the final call, but people
Yep.
are talking about it.
Chat was buzzing, so shout out to the chat for getting our attention on this.
Great having him right in front of us here.
Oh, there it is, the little hole in between our cameraman, Max.
Unbelievable. Wow.
Great call by the chat. Shout out to them.
Great job by our cameraman Max to make sure his arms were down in the perfect position there to see that Cons is
That's on me.
disheveled. He's upset.
That's on me.
So now Cons is actually going to have to deal with the penalty himself. And Jeff, that's the great thing about Stool streams is that we just took interactive to the next level because now the
All right, let's go.
fans at home can be officials if we mess up here
I
and
just
there.
got a text
We're
from
not
Duhamel,
perfect.
too. Duhamel said, I fucking knew it. He was hoping nobody saw
Try
it.
one out like it. Yeah, exactly.
hoping
Just like
nobody
Ev did,
saw
and just
it.
use your fingers.
So
as
big
the super
thanks to
slow,
the chat.
Or
Now
go full
Cons.
throw, and there might be enough weight
Jeff,
on the
this is
forward
going to be
to
the
hold it
first
down.
ever
It might twist right
self-inflicted
there.
violation.
Try the bottom first. That's safer.
It's like the USGA when you used to be able to call in violations on,
Yep.
on
Nice and
golfers.
slow.
So that's
Jim
the block,
Nance.
correct?
Jim Nance
That's
for
it.
calling
So
violations.
that's it. That's the
Dave-
block.
What do you mean that's the block? 'Cause
That's
he
it.
touched
He touched it.
Because he violated, so he has to go with that block.
This tower's
Oh,
moving
you're
a lot
fine.
with this poll.
Wow.
We don't often see these polls come down to losses. They're not always indirectly the reason why a team loses.
That's a great
It's like they
ball.
have to focus during these, Jake.
Nope. Cons in
Maybe leg it
danger
around
of
in
dropping to
front.
0-3 with Team Duhamel.
He's got great pad level. You can tell he's a former football player. He's in the athletic position. That translates to any sport. It could be bowling, it could be Jenga, it could be lawn darts, it could be golf, it could be baseball.
Got it out.
There it is. Dealt with his own violation. He's got to be fired up.
Oh, there's
Kiss
no
him,
way that
kiss
is a
him.
complete
Not a
retower.
Take your time.
My goodness. You could fit a lot of things inside that gap
Oh,
there.
whoa,
Ooh, Jake.
little rough. PFT just got a little
I think that's good, right?
horned up, maybe.
Other end.
If I was not horned up, Jeff, that's fake news.
Do you remember Gene Steratore broke out the index card
That's
to
good.
measure a first down a few years ago.
Oh, whoa! Wow!
0-2 and a violation committed, yet he is pumped
Khan's
up.
fucking fired up. I mean, hey, the first ever own self-violation successful block pull.
Yes.
And it now puts Liz in a tough spot.
You have the snitch hotline in the NBA bubble. You have, as you guys mentioned, the PGA hotline. And here we go. We have the Stool Streams chat hotline.
We average 34 blocks per match, but I'm telling you today, this might be the longest combined we've seen out of
Yep.
3 matches.
43 pulled by Glennie Balls in match 1, 44 by Nick Tarani in match 2. And this one with the chalk
I don't
in play.
remember, have we ever seen 340s in one day?
I don't believe so.
I don't think so. I mean, we're a long ways off. But if Liz and Big Ev are out there, it's very possible. They know how to extend matches. And now Pat, a little flustered maybe.
Confirmed, we have not gone
That looks
at
like it's
least
halfway
3 in a
between
row
both on this side.
with 40. We've had 3 out of 4
Shut up.
with at least a 40. Now Spider.
Good call, Stripes.
But shut up from Spider. He's not feeling this right now.
You know what?
This has been
He doesn't want to hear from the newcomer. He doesn't want to hear from a guy who's just had a violation.
Thank you, Liz. I appreciate that integrity.
Spider not putting up with any of that
She
shit.
saw
today.
it.
Sportsmanship, pass it on. Like that commercial where the guy hits a
Yeah,
ball. out of
boy!
He narcs
that
on
was
himself,
easy.
yeah.
That was a good one. Like to see it.
So the league rookie Pat makes quick work of that block. Can he retower? He does. Now it's back to Big Ev at block 35.
Strong pull. I was like, probably not hot.
There are a couple
Someone say
rows
my
that are
service is
ripe right now, and I think he's eyeing those down.
We do have a
Like
few
a
full
pie on the
slates in play.
windowsill.
What kind of pie?
Boysenberry,
Oh, boysenberry. That's some shit.
or a treat.
Seems in season.
Obviously pulling at an east or west block.
Rhubarb.
on a full
60
slate.
seconds to
Strawberry.
pick a
Extend the
block.
match
What do you
significantly.
think?
Tittleman's Crest
Like
would do
something
the
like
exact
this, or
opposite.
like, should I try to go? I feel like I'm
Every
trying to go
Tittleman's Crest slashes the match time down more and more, Jake.
right here.
Yeah. Just be super gentle.
And he's looking at one right now.
Is there movement?
It is. It's just-
Pat, one more phone look will be a violation.
Ooh, Pat looking at the
And remember, a violation would be a disqualification.
Nothing but respect for the officials here.
Pat must stay
Apologies.
by the rules here. F making that block move.
Just do it
Power
really
moving
Some
with it. He's gonna have to be
movement.
gentle.
Down the middle.
Slow it down a little bit as you get to the end.
It's so slow.
He's got this one. Laser focused.
Nice.
It's a good pull.
Ev trying to create another full slate.
Ev with a great move again.
He got it
Well
to
done,
go.
well done.
Now to block 36
Well
with Cons.
done.
Great.
Ooh.
That looked like it was coming out there, Cons. Oh, that one does too.
He found movement. This
Careful.
would create a
Careful.
triple hanger.
Oh, he's second guessing himself.
But it's out. And it's on. Off to Liz at 37. Liz only picked by 18% of the field net in this match.
60 seconds to pick a
Stoolies
block.
are learning.
Yeah, they know she is one of the best, if not the best. Trying to put it back into Pat's hands.
She got this one easy. I don't think there's a chance. No, she's not going to tower over on the start.
Look at that. What is she doing?
What is Liz doing right now? She just replaced the block. She pulled it out and put it back in. She's gonna try to pull it out again?
Going with row
It's
4.
being removed much easier this
30 seconds, pick a block.
She tried to loosen it up, and I think it might have worked, but there's still some room. She's leveraging the tower, I think, now, keeping it still.
Yeah,
Movement.
she's got that thumb. She's got the thumb playing down there on the 6th row.
Friendly reminder, this block can hit the ground.
10 seconds. 5, 4, 3.
I think she's committed to that one.
Yeah, I picked
That's
that
your block.
I think it's pretty clear. She's
Put it back.
picked that one.
Spider doing his job, Cons, razzing him a bit. Did not want you Cons after this match. Spider will not like seeing him.
That's incredible.
And it's out for Liz.
Methodical, quick, patient. There was no need to rush that move.
No panic.
Liz does not blink. She coincidentally does not have
But where do you
eyelids.
think you feel comfortable?
Thank you.
Horrifying to think about.
All right.
Like Mike
Now
Tomlin.
to our rookie,
Gonna cut off
Pat,
her eyelids so we
at
can't
block
blink.
38. Season very much on the line for Team Duhamel.
Not really eliminated, but you gotta think as close to it as possible.
Right. You would need, at 0-3, you would need to run the table and hope for carnage in your group.
You would need.
A four-way tie at 3-3 or something like that.
Yeah, it's
60
not a pretty
seconds,
sight.
pick a block.
The best scenario to get through is they need to win this match.
Right. We have seen one team before over in Group B, Fights in KFC. They were 0-2 and they won to keep their season alive
I think you're okay if you just take it slow.
last week.
They will have to face Frank again, though.
Yep.
Even if Frank and Nick get eliminated,
It's still gonna be exciting.
it's not going to be very fun to play them. They could be season spoilers.
You have those pesky NFL teams who
But they gotta win tomorrow.
Win late.
Let it
Yep.
settle.
They may win tomorrow and put themselves right back in it.
Can I like widen the gap?
Yeah.
Did I just write that?
Wow.
Oh, he's going to go for the clean rip.
I don't know that that's necessary.
Might
but
take
again,
the tower with
you
him.
feel
He has no
it. I
patience.
can't
He
feel
has
it.
no
You need to
patience with the
decide.
new player.
Is
I
Pat
hope
going to
he's
do it?
smiling.
I see
Yeah.
the look in
Big
Pat's
Evan
eyes.
wants him to do it.
Could this be a rookie mistake
Pat
and
wants to do it.
potentially end the season for Team Duhamel.
The look in his eye, he wants to give this a shot.
Necessary.
It's not necessary. It really is not. Just
Cons
take your time.
trying
In
to
a way, it
persuade
is
him not
very
to do
I think I
it.
can go back and
He's
forth
gonna
and
do
loosen
it.
Yes, that's fine.
That's what I'm doing. I should have let it settle.
Yeah, that's
That's
fine.
your
Take,
block.
take as much time as you
got it.
need. He picked the block. You got all the time in the world now.
It's loosened up a little.
Okay.
Pat just wants to say fuck it and rip that block. Cons is trying to coach him down, trying to make him do a smart pull, but maybe not a crowd-pleasing pull.
Remember, Jeff, there is $10,000 on the line, so we should keep that in mind.
It's starting to twist a little bit. He's twisting it on purpose now. Oh, cripes.
Cripes is right, Jeff.
I have to rip it.
He's gonna rip it.
He's gonna rip it, guys.
I think this is a stunning lack of patience.
I can go on the
Wow.
other side too to move these, right?
There are plenty of moves on the board right now.
He should just rip it.
This is a lack of patience, a rookie error, and could sink Josh Duhamel.
Continue to take your time.
All right.
A lot of people, I think, in the
chalk is
chat are
loving
saying,
this.
just rip it. You won't rip it. You know you want to rip it. I dare you to rip it. You won't do it.
All right, now let her settle. Let her settle.
Let her settle down. Settle down. This is coming out. This takes. Look at that. Now we got separation.
What are your feelings down here, guys? You know that you can see in his eyes he wants to rip it.
I know, but he needs to just trust it.
There's like a hump in the wood that I gotta get over.
Just pull it.
Top half continuing to move.
Just pull it.
Let it settle.
I should probably just pull it out.
Yeah, fuck it.
Do it.
What? Stop, 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 stop.
That was close. You see the top 6 rows on life support. On top of that triple hanger.
Fuck.
All right. Now I'm thinking maybe the pull is the move and just very quickly place it on top.
Here we go. Cons is all in.
Let's rip
I
it.
think it's
This
too
is
far gone.
potentially a
Lack of
$10,000 move. Can Pat pull it off?
It's got to be very
complete
quick,
lack
Pat.
of patience here.
Let me give it one more little quick go.
Okay.
Could work though.
We've seen the rip outs work. And that's the goal! And Team Josh Duhamel is big trouble at 0-3. Meanwhile, DeChalk, the heavy favorite, for a reason, 3-0.
Yeah, not to be snobby here, not to be a know-it-all, Jake, but that was just a simple lack of patience. No reason to resort to the pull move there, the quick pull. He could have wiggled that a little more. We saw Dave take 13 and a half minutes earlier. We saw Big Ev take 15 minutes last week. Pat could have been patient. I don't know why Khan told him to do it. Poor move. 0-3. Their season is all but doomed at this point. They still have some life, but it's very, very thin.
And keep in mind, on the play bar slap, that is going to be Kate's pick because it was Pat, the late substitution. So Kate at 38 for questions 5 and 6. Let's send it down to the Phillips Norelco locker at 0-3. Team Josh Duhamel in big trouble with PFT.
Yeah, we're down here with Team Josh Duhamel. Obviously, the words of encouragement from Josh himself, the big man, fell on deaf ears today. You had to substitute Pat in at the last minute. How do you think that Pat fared considering he was not prepared?
Listen, that game right there is 100% on me. I should not have told him to do that. I should have urged him to continue to just wiggle it and work it. We've seen that the patient moves always work better than the fast moves, so I take full responsibility for this loss.
Pat, are you going to let Cons take full responsibility for this loss, or will you also take full responsibility?
He can take responsibility.
All right, Cons has taken full responsibility for this loss. Pat still remains 0-0 in the Stool Streams Jingle League. Cons falls to 0-2 solo by himself. The very last pull that you had, Pat, you wanted to just do the clean artillery cord yank. You didn't get a good enough grip on that wood. Are you going to practice gripping wood to enable yourself to be able to pull on wood better?
Yeah, I'm gonna try. The problem was the booth over here was like egging me on to do the pull. And the whole time, I don't know the rules, and they're going, he's gonna pull it, he's gonna pull it. So I got frazzled, and then I hear Ev
a hot
cackling
mic,
in the
sorry.
corner. These guys, and then 2 seconds after I pull the block, they tell me I
this
should have
is
waited.
prime
Where was
rookie
that?
move,
I want a little
blaming the
friendly help from the
broadcasters. I
booth.
thought we were past
Clearly
this.
the booth
I don't think
favors
the mic
Liz.
is hot, but
clearly
if
they
it
favor
is-
Big Ev. It's absolute
Idiot.
bullshit. Spider's yelling at me every 2 seconds to pick a block. He told me to shut up once. I'm not going to say that there's favoritism going on, but there's big time favoritism going on.
Okay, well, you heard it from these guys. No excuses. It's on them. Back to you guys in the booth.
I mean, it's a pathetic lack of patience.
He comes into this league in 10 minutes and trashes everybody and ends his team's chances of losing 10K.
He touched the block for 30 seconds. He goes, I gotta have to pull it. I'm gonna have to yank the block. No patience, and that's why they're 0-3. Sorry.
If I could curse right now, I would.
Plain
I'm not
and
going
simple. Wow.
to. Let's get to our
That's as
Phillips
bad as a curse.
close shave of the match. And it is Team Josh Duhamel's violation. Shout out to the chat for calling this one
This
out.
is unbelievable. Even Josh saw it at home. He said, hey, Jeff, not sure if you watched Transformers the other day. Still holds up. But did you see that potential two-hand violation by Cons? I hope nobody notices it. Guess what? Somebody did notice it. The chat did. Shout out to the chat. Great job. Two-hand violation. Didn't sink the team, but definitely hurt their momentum. Really threw them off. Why they rushed that last block, I have no idea. But the methodical, slow play of Ev and Liz is what makes them 0-3. It's what makes them good, and it ended up being the difference there because I think it just got in the head of Cons and Pat.
The Chalk is 3-0, sitting up top of the Group C standings, and they are at the Phillips Norelco locker with PFT.
Yeah, I'm down here with the Chalk. They are in the catbird seat right now in the group of death, Group C. They do have the cream of the division to match up against with yet. They've had kind of a cakewalk schedule. Some would say that they're frauds, that they've built up a winning record by playing against inferior opponents. I'm not saying that. A lot of people are at home. Liz, you had one of your signature pulls today where you actually extracted a block, returned the block, and then extracted that same block again. What was going through your head? Why did you think that was the appropriate move to make down there at the end of the game?
Well, I would answer your question, but considering that we're playing each other tomorrow, I feel like you're trying to get some insider tip. I'm going to decline to comment.
I don't need, nope. I'm not an insider tip guy, never have been. I'm just saying it was a questionable move that you lucked out on. Many would say that this was an asterisk when, Ev, as always, you were just smooth on the floor. You had, you're a very quiet stepper. You move in silence. Real G's move in silence like lasagna. That's what Baker Mayfield said. When you were circling the tower today, it didn't ever look like you were thinking that it was even a remote possibility you were going to crash out. Were you in the zone today?
Always. I mean, listen, having Liz here, you just feel confident. It's just an aura around her. I'm confident what she's doing. I'm confident she's going to guide me in the right direction. I'm confident myself. I feel good. I feel like as long as we're on our game, no one can beat us.
So you guys think that you can go undefeated throughout the season?
Are we capable of it? For sure.
We'll see. We're worried about today, and we'll worry about tomorrow.
Okay, it sounds like you're being a little disrespectful of future opponents, but that's fine. That's to be expected from a team like you guys. We're going to kick it back to y'all in the booth.
All right, thank you, Mr. Commenter. The Chalk 3-0. Can't be feeling better than the two of them right now.
I mean, that's where they needed to be. It's where they wanted to be. If you were smart and you watched a lot of Jenga, you knew this is probably where they would be 3 matches in. But tomorrow, they do have to go up against an undefeated team in PFT and Kelly Martin, the football team. Yep. That is a star-studded matchup. You thought today was crazy? Tomorrow.
And remember to make your picks. The Play Barstool app right now, we are live at noon. Group C is going to have some more shifting. 3-0 to Chalk, 1-0 football team. And we'll have Big Cat and Frank the Tank lead things off. Jeff, unfortunately, no winners, but less than a 24-hour turnaround. $1,500 on the line for the Progressive Jackpot. Big E, congrats. 0 for 6. A $50 Barstool Sports gift card is coming your way. Any last thoughts before we wrap up this wild day?
Some of the longest matches we've seen in terms of skill, competition, average blocks. The Dave move was one of the best we've ever seen. What Frank did today, my head is still rattling, but it was entertaining as hell. And this last one, anytime you watch Big Ev and Liz, it's a fucking clinic. And we got another one tomorrow.
Noon tomorrow. Big shout out to everybody in the production truck, our executive producer, Henry Lockwood, Stefan, Steve pressing all the right buttons, John Foley running replay, Sean doing the stats. We've got Andrew Manley, Colby, Pete, and down here running the cameras, we've got Max Salente. Our sideline reporter is Spider. He's Jeff D'Lo. I'm Jake Marsh. Noon tomorrow. Get those picks in. Have a great night, and we will see you back here mañana. Have a great night. This has been Stool Streams, presented by High Noon Hard Seltzer.